Hello YouTubes, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been poking around, you've seen a wide range of topics. Some historical, some scientific, some theoretical, some mythological, some just for funsies. All connected by underlying patterns. Today's video is part of the timeline series, where we explore the ends of loops. If you're unfamiliar with the concept, check out the Hyperuniverse series, where we break down the cyclical nature of history and science and how these patterns repeat across time. In this case, we're looking at the end of a loop through the lens of one of the most dominant theological frameworks on the planet, Christianity. Collective consciousness shapes reality in ways similar to a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more an idea is embedded in the cultural psyche, the more likely it is to manifest through societal events, symbols, and historical cycles. In this way, dominant theologies serve as a tool for mapping how time collapses in cycles, extending beyond spirituality into the patterns that shape collective experience. So what are the unfolding early signs? Throughout history, civilizations have looked to the heavens, the earth, and their own hearts for indicators of what is to come and reminders of the fragility of life and society. Whether through sacred texts, ancient traditions, or spiritual intuition, humanity has long anticipated a period of upheaval where the very fabric of existence seems to tremble. Such signs, described across different philosophies and eschatological frameworks, paint a vivid picture of an era marked by conflict, confusion, and yearning. Let's explore these interconnected events, themes, and their symbolic depths, and what they might mean for us as individuals and as a collective. The modern world offers unparalleled access to information, but with this gift comes a shadow: the proliferation of false knowledge. In a time where misinformation thrives, the line between truth and deception becomes blurred, leaving many vulnerable to manipulation. This false knowledge does not merely mislead, it enslaves souls, binding them to illusions that distort reality and stifle personal and collective growth. This danger lies not in ignorance, but in the active propagation of ideas designed to divert humanity from its higher potential. Conflict takes many forms, both external and internal. Globally, wars will escalate, fueled by ethnic, economic, and political tensions. These battles reflect a deeper struggle: the spiritual and psychological conflicts within individuals, the clash of ideologies, the battle for resources, and the division amongst nations, mirroring the inner turmoil of souls wrestling with meaning, purpose, and truth. This period of unrest challenges humanity to confront its own duality, where spiritual struggles within individuals ripple outward into the fabric of society. Amidst the spread of false knowledge, a counterforce will arise. There will be a hunger for truth. People yearn for wisdom that transcends superficial explanations. We seek answers that try to address our deepest questions and longings. This hunger reflects a collective awakening, a recognition that much of what we've been told or taught fails to satisfy the mind's desire for understanding. The quest for true knowledge becomes both a personal journey and a communal effort to uncover deeper truths about existence and purpose. Unfortunately, in the end times, not everybody will find the path to true knowledge. And so in this context, death becomes a multifaceted symbol. Beyond physical demise, it represents the loss of spiritual awareness, a kind of living death where individuals and societies become disconnected from their higher selves and the divine purpose that God has given them. The spiritual death manifests in materialism, cynicism, and the rejection of transcendence, leaving many adrift in a world devoid of deeper meaning. Our hearts will grow cold. Amongst all of this chaos in the beginning of the birth pains, false Christs, leaders and influencers who claim authority but lead people astray, will emerge as a defining feature of this period. These figures exploit humanity's vulnerability, offering hollow promises and counterfeit salvation. Their influence exacerbates the confusion and division, creating a landscape where discernment becomes a critical skill. The rise of false leaders serves as both a warning and a call to seek genuine truth, to differentiate between what is real and what is fabricated. And it won't be easy. The Bible tells us that even up until the elect will be deceived. Wars will escalate, driven by ethnic tension, economic rivalries, and geopolitical ambitions. They go from conflicts to full-blown wars. Nations will rise against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms, as the world plunges deeper into chaos. And keep in mind, the biblical definition of nations and kingdoms here is a little different. It holds a deeper, both inner meaning and outer meaning. It's that we struggle inwardly with ourselves and our demons, and then outwardly we also see the world in turmoil. These conflicts are not just political or territorial. They reveal the fractured state of humanity, divided by fear, greed, and mistrust, as it's the end of a loop. The world will witness widespread famine and economic hardship, exacerbated by pestilences, epidemic diseases that strike fear into the hearts of many. These calamities highlight the interconnectedness of human systems, the fragility of life itself. Famine and disease are not just physical realities, they symbolize the spiritual and moral hunger of a world that has gone out of balance. And of course, what apocalypse would be complete if we didn't have natural disasters? Earthquakes, chaotic events, and fearful sights will shake the very foundation of human existence. These upheavals serve as both literal and symbolic warnings, urging humanity to pay attention to the deeper rhythms of the earth and the cosmos. And one of the things that the Bible makes clear is that these phenomena will happen in diverse places, not diverse. And diverse is a very important word here in this context that means unusual. And this is where some of that self-fulfilling prophecy comes into play, is that we attribute all of these things to a particular theology because that's what we're all conditioned to think in terms of. And so whether or not you want to attribute these changes to climate change or to a wrathful, vengeful God who is angry at humanity, both of them signal the end of a loop. In this process, the earth seems to rebel, unleashing its wrath in ways that defy our control. Whether it's storms, floods, or other natural calamities, nature's fury serves as a wake-up call and a reminder that our actions have consequences and the balance of the natural world cannot be ignored. As the world spirals into chaos, those who hold fast to their beliefs, who dare to seek the truth and stand up for what is right, will face increased trials testing their faith, resilience, and commitment to their spiritual path. Yet this suffering isn't in vain. It refines and strengthens the spirit, preparing individuals and communities for the greater challenges and revelations that still lie ahead. One of my favorite analogies in the Bible is that we are clay in the potter's hands. And when it comes to this final refining process, it's even more apropos. We are pots, clay vessels that still need to be fired. And then we come out a usable, workable vessel. And because everybody's a pot, everybody will go through the refining process. All of humanity is clay. And while these events might seem overwhelming, this period is not merely a time of destruction, it's a crucible of transformation, where the old gives way to the new and seeds of renewal are planted amidst the ashes of chaos. The earth itself groans under the weight of human actions, responding with these storms, earthquakes, floods, and fires, signs that mirror the warnings that we see in Revelation. And in the next stage, the breaking of the seals, the trumpets, and the bowls of wrath, each depict nature unraveling in ways that are beyond our control. These events serve as more than disasters, though. They're catalysts, forcing humanity to confront the consequences of its path. The upheaval reflects a cycle, a response to a world drifting from its course. As chaos deepens, those who endure to the end will face increasing trials. Revelation speaks of the persecution of the faithful, those who refuse to conform to the prevailing order of deception. They are tested, refined like gold in the fire. Their suffering not in vain, but a necessary step in their spiritual transformation. The warnings of false prophets, the pressures of a world demanding allegiance to its system, and the endurance required to stand firm are all part of the greater pattern, a sifting of souls in preparation for what comes next. These signs we see, both in the physical world and the shifting tides of human consciousness, align with prophecies echoed across culture. The early birth pains of upheaval serve as markers, not to incite fear, but to awaken those who are willing to see. This is a call to sharpen your discernment, to seek truth beyond illusions of control, and to recognize our role in the unfolding narrative. In future episodes, we'll trace these signs more closely, connecting prophecy to the present events and mapping out potential key players and stages in the collapse of this cycle. I'm not a prophet, and I don't pretend to be. I just see these patterns and make connections. I talk about the things that I feel I'm led to talk about, and I won't go beyond that, and I won't say anything for certain. These patterns are there, woven into scripture, into history, and the world around us. So may all of us with eyes to see and ears to hear recognize them. May God be with you all.